The winner of an Award of Merit is Dennis Will for the restoration of 1376 Monterey Avenue. The California Craftsman Bungalow was an original but very poor condition and required considerable repair and restoration. The owner completely rebuilt and renovated the bungalow over a number of years, preserving the original appearance and character. The property is valued for its contribution to a cluster of pre-First World War properties built on or adjacent to the Noble Farm. The land was reorganized in 1911. The house is situated at the entry lane to the Noble Farm, now known as Hampshire Terrace, which has the original farmhouse and dairy. Mr. Noble built two small bungalow-style homes on Hampshire Terrace in 1913. One of these homes is adjacent to 1376 Monterey. The exterior features include a low, cross-gabled roof with a large front gable, deep overhanging eaves, wooden shingles wrapping the house, and original windows including a box bay. Other notable aspects include a brick chimney with clinker bricks, a large front porch with balustrades, and wooden tapered pillars. Important interior details include fine cabinetry, evident in the beamed ceiling and built-in hutch in the dining room, inlaid oak floors in public rooms, built-in bookcases in the living room, and moldings such as crown, picture rails, and plate rails. The owner bought the house in 2006 when it was in very poor condition. There was an inappropriate addition at the rear of the house, which he demolished. Some windows at the rear had been replaced by poor quality metal frames, which were inconsistent with the style and heritage of the house, and the front porch was in a state of collapse. The owner is a skilled craftsman, and he has completed a comprehensive renovation using salvaged materials. He has repaired and refurbished windows and exterior and interior finishes. Over the years, he has rebuilt the roof and the front porch. He used salvaged wood for the porch to ensure it was in keeping with the age and style of the house. The metal-framed windows were replaced with salvaged wooden windows of the period. The original kitchen had been replaced years ago with inappropriate fittings and finishes. The owner stripped the kitchen, installed a salvaged wood floor of the appropriate age and design, and custom-built kitchen cabinets in an appropriate style. He located an unused 1908 kitchen sink, still wrapped with a sales sticker, and designed and built the cabinet. The interior of the house was largely intact, and he has maintained and preserved the baseboards, moldings, and doors. An example of his attention to heritage detail is found in the wooden gutters, custom made by himself. For his amazing attention to detail, we are pleased to present Dennis Will with an Award of Merit. The winner of a Communication Award is Mary Conley for the publication of The Artistry of Art Deco, an illustrated selection of buildings in Greater Victoria. Mary has had a lifelong passion for art. She trained at the Honolulu Academy of Art, the Vancouver School of Art, and Bank Street School in Victoria. Known locally as a painter, her highly finished realistic paintings in many media are perennial award winners at large regional exhibitions on Vancouver Island. However, her interests encompass a wide range of media: sculpture, bookmaking, calligraphy, and computer graphics. For the past 3 years, her attention has turned to writing and illustrating a book on the Art Deco buildings in Victoria. The book and the associated lectures have brought the heritage and importance of Art Deco and Art Moderne to the fore. Sadly, many of Greater Victoria's Art Deco or modern commercial buildings are in a state of neglect, the fine, clean designs cluttered by inappropriate signs and finishes. Dr. Connolly has refreshed our memories of how the buildings were intended to and once did appear. Residents of Art Deco modern houses report groups of interested people with books in hand making tours of the buildings. The book includes neighborhood maps with the houses marked, encouraging heritage exploration. This experience and exposure to heritage knowledge can only enhance the community's desire and ability to do more to preserve this wonderful art form. Mary has always been a heritage buff. Once she learned how to navigate illustration programs such as Photoshop, she was off to the races with this book. She ended up drawing 91 of the buildings. The book took her 2 years to complete and depicts her illustrations of the 91 buildings, and also has a sidebar that lists the characteristics of the style of each building, along with the name of the architect or designer and stories about the building. Mary says her drawings are extremely accurate. She said it's because a lot of these buildings are going to go, and she wanted to keep a record of them. It's kind of sad, she says. They were built during the 30s and 40s, and that was the time of the Depression and the Second World War. There wasn't a lot of money. Resources were really funneled elsewhere. She drew maps of Oak Bay, Victoria, and Esquimalt so people could go round and have a look. Victoria is full of what Connolly calls visual noise, which was the biggest artistic challenge for her. Some things that are present in real life had to be eliminated in the interest of clarity. She had to eliminate telephone poles, basketball hoops, garbage cans, and other impediments to seeing the buildings clearly. She manipulated photos so they would appear to be standing upright on the page using vanishing points so she could get the visual perspective correct. The hardest thing to draw was the curves, and sometimes it would take 6 to 8 times to draw them. That was her biggest challenge. This book is a visual record of buildings that are now vanishing, and is a deserving winner of a communication award. The next winner of a communication award is the Ross Bay Villa Society for the publication of Our Happy Home, Ross Bay Villa, Past, Present, Future. The book was published in October 2019 to mark 20 years of work saving and restoring Ross Bay Villa at 1490 Fairfield Road as a community house museum. The book was conceived, researched, written, and edited by 5 volunteer members of the Villa Research Committee. It was designed by Fairfield designer Lara Minja of Lime Design and printed by Friesens of Manitoba, so is a wholly Canadian publication. Our Happy Home is intended to serve 3 functions. With room-by-room descriptions, it will serve as a guidebook and souvenir for Fairfield's only community museum. As a record of the restoration process, it documents how to save a virtually unknown and abandoned building from demolition, meticulously restore it to its original style, and transform it into a viable community museum. And in celebrating the devotion of some 80 volunteers, contributing an incredible 100,000 hours of labor, it honors those volunteers and is a useful case study on volunteerism. The book tells the story in 3 increments: the early history of the property from marshes used by First Nations to house construction for Anna and Francis Roscoe, the pivotal rescue in 1999 as demolition loomed, and the process of peeling back 150 years of wallpaper and paint to reveal its 1860s look. The scene is set with lists of key players and key dates, and concludes with a Roscoe genealogy and timeline, restoration chronology, glossary, sources, and a full index. Heritage activist and longtime city councillor Pam Madoff graciously wrote a foreword to Our Happy Home, praising what she calls the extraordinarily dedicated and creative individuals who made the museum and the book happen. The research committee members spent endless hours documenting the history of the house and its occupants, building on research done for the villa's first official history, the Winter House Ross Bay Villa. The team conducted interviews with several of the primary workers, and they wrote some 30 essays on various aspects of the restoration, including the importance and challenges of creating an 1860s garden. Virtually all the 100 color photographs were taken by members of the committee. The editorial team comprised Janet Glover-Geit, Catherine McAllister, Nick Russell, Simone Vogel-Horridge, and Colleen Wilson. The result is a glossy, compact book that will inspire residents and visitors interested in local history, architecture, and house restoration, and in Victorian furnishings, textiles, and plants. And although designed and printed to the highest possible standards, Our Happy Home was produced entirely by volunteers. The book can be purchased in the Villa gift shop, neighboring Fairfield Hart Pharmacy, and at Rose Bookstore. The Hallmark Heritage Society salutes the efforts of all the volunteers and is pleased to present them with the Communication Award.
The final winner of a Communication Award is Helen Edwards for the publication of The History of Professional Hockey in Victoria, 1911-2011. Produced after almost 8 years of research, the book is an in-depth examination of professional hockey in Victoria. It includes details of the different leagues, statistics of every game played by a Victoria team, and information on every one of the 483 players to dress for at least one regular season game. It was produced as a thank you to the players who entertained Victorians over a century, giving reason to cheer on many occasions and to be disappointed as well. Victoria enjoyed 3 championships, including the Stanley Cup victory in 1925. Little did the Cougars know that they would go down in history as the last non-NHL team to win the Stanley Cup and the last non-NHL team to play in a Stanley Cup series. They were also the last West Coast team to win the Stanley Cup until Anaheim did it in 2007. The 1950-51 Cougars, led by their kid line of Andy Hebdinton, Bob Frampton, and Reg Abbott, won the league title, while the Maple Leafs, with Hebdinton in the lineup, won the Lester Patrick Cup in the 1965-1966 season. Included in the narrative is a story of the construction and operation of the different venues in which games were played. The first games were played at the Willows Arena, also known as the Patrick Arena, built by the Patrick family in 1910. That building burned in a tragic fire on November 12, 1929, destroying not only the arena, but also the archival records of the early hockey teams. Local groups discussed building a new arena. One suggestion was city-owned land across from the Crystal Garden. When the CPR would not help with financing, local service groups started to raise funds. A site near the Ogden Point docks was proposed, as well as a site on Douglas Street and another on Pandora between Blanchard and Quadra. None came to fruition. Eventually, the horse show building on the Willow Fairground was converted to an arena, opening in November 1941. The hockey played at this site was amateur, not professional. Unfortunately, this building caught on fire and was destroyed on April 24, 1944. After political wrangling and much public input, a new arena was built at the corner of Blanchard and Caledonia Streets. It featured a barrel roof and was constructed of reinforced concrete. The building was dedicated as a memorial to servicemen, as was named Victoria Memorial Arena. Professional hockey returned to Victoria with the Victoria Cougars playing in the Pacific Coast Hockey League. They entertained Victorians until 1961. The Victoria Maple Leafs played at the Memorial Arena for 3 seasons, winning the league championship in their second season. By the 1990s, there was a move to replace the arena as it was failing. After years of wrangling and political unrest, a new building was built on the Blanchard Street site using ground-up concrete from the Memorial Arena in the construction. It opened in 2005 with a Rod Stewart concert. The Victoria Salmon Kings played their first season at Bear Mountain Arena, but moved into the new arena for the 2006 season. They played until 2011 when the franchise was closed. The building is still being used for hockey and other events and is now a landmark in its own right. The biographies of selected players tell the stories of individuals and how they came to play hockey in Victoria. Readers can learn from behind-the-scenes stories told by the players themselves. Lavishly illustrated, this is a book for those who love hockey history and its connection to Victoria, BC. It is a fitting winner of a communication award.